asking for real. What do you want to talk about? Because they're going to give me the floor to stand right here and have a conversation with y'all. So it'd probably be best if I know what y'all want to talk about, right? So what do you want to talk about? You came here this morning, what was you thinking?
About life.
About life. That's good. That's my name. What do you think about life? That's a heavy statement. What do you think about life right now?
It's good.
Life is good. Life is a great thing. What were you thinking about?
The same.
Same thing? Life is good? Okay. That's a good thing. So we're gonna talk about life being good. I'm gonna make sure I'm not too talkative, right? Do this right here if I'm being too talkative. I need to make a joke or something, right? So you're gonna be the person to let me know. Just pull your ear, like, make a joke or something. All right? Not depending on you. How you doing, man?
Fine, thank you.
Life, nice to meet you. You gotta master it if we're doing it, right? Is there somebody right now that's getting paid to play around? We just don't have the information on how they're doing it. So if we're gonna play, we might as well get paid to play, right? So I want y'all to empty your mind of what y'all think I'm gonna talk about, and then let's make our imagination run wild, and we're gonna turn our imagination into reality. Is that fair? What you supposed to do if I start getting more? Pull the egg, pull the egg. We're gonna be all right then. As long as I got you in control, everything gonna fall into place. We're just gonna wait a couple more minutes for some more people to get here, and then we're gonna work it out. What grade are you in?
Good.
Third grade? Oh, so you start testing this year, right? Do you like third grade? Is it harder than second grade, or just different?
Different.
Just different. What grade are you in? Fifth grade. Almost going to middle school, huh? So you own the whole school, right? So y'all the oldest people in y'all school go up to fifth grade? And then you go to middle school in sixth grade? Are you ready? That's good. Ron, what grade are you in?
6.
6? Oh, so you just got to the middle school. How is it?
Good.
Is it different from the elementary school?
Yeah.
How's it different?
We got bigger places,
Got bigger places? Do y'all go to different classrooms, or you in the same class all day?
different classrooms.
Different class. What's your favorite class? PE. Oh, you like working out?
Just playing basketball.
You like playing? Are you good? Are you a little good, or you good?
Really good.
Okay. Basketball. I can't dribble the ball and walk. I can make it look good when ain't nobody on the court. Just never been my thing. I just knew how to write. It's weird, but that's how it went. It's basketball. What's your favorite class?
Art.
Art. Now I do draw. I draw, which led me to designing clothes, like this hat I design a lot of stuff, and people start paying me for the things that I draw. Is that crazy? It's a good day. What do you love to do? What class is your favorite class? Music. Can you sing? You can? Let me hear something. Oh, come on, come right here. Come on. It's just us. Nobody has my friends now. What makes you? You know how to sing? Are you learning to sing? Guess what? I can't sing at all, so you're already ahead of me. What's your favorite song? God did? Okay. How it go? You forgot? Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Singer, artist, PE. You know why math is important? You know why is math important? Okay, you can get smarter. You know why math is important? Do you know why math is important? Tell me. So I know what y'all doing, man. Can I tell you what y'all doing? Smart. Can I tell you what you're doing? Look, when I ask you a question, it doesn't matter what you say. I just want you to give me your real answer, right? I don't want you to look for the answer you think I want. So I don't want the right answer, just the real answer. Just tell me what you know why I think math is important? I like money. Math tells us how to maneuver money, right? So fractions ain't nothing but fractions of a dollar, right? So everything helps us. So math is important because it tells us how we can get money, how we can utilize money. Reading is important Because the more I read, the more I'm gonna know, whatever job I do. History is important because nobody can tell me who I am because I already know who I am. Because I went and studied my own history. And that's the thing that makes me strong enough to do what I want to do in the world. So all the other classes are dope. All the other classes are real good. Right? But if I can read and I can understand money and I know who I am, the rest of this stuff gonna fall into place. Is that cool? So I asked you what y'all love to do, right? We got about 10 more minutes before everybody gets in. And then we're gonna go to class. Is that fair?
What?
Just like class. He's like, I ain't coming here for class. I came here for book bags. That's what he's like, somebody set me up. Who you look over there? Your mom's or somebody over there? Who you looked at just now? Who brought you here? Who brought you here? Where's she at? At home? She just dropped you off? You looked around like somebody set me up. We in class. I went to school yesterday. You said you like history. I'm going to teach some history. Is that fair? Would that be good? He's like, not on Saturday, bro. Not on Saturday. You can give me a real answer. Talk to me.
What?
What do you think? He's like, not class. That's not what you came here for, right? So what you thought you came here for?
Book bags.
For book bags. Is that what y'all thought too? No? You came for class. You know this class was going on? Okay. So check this out. You're going to get a book bag still. But what good is a book bag when you don't have nothing to put in it? We're going to need more than what they give us in the school. Is that fair? Because they might give it to you in school, but we got to figure out how we're going to use it in the world, right? You say you woke up this morning, you was thinking about life, and life is good. You go keep making sure life good. That's what we're here for today. Is that fair? Right. A genius at work. I know that's right. Brave, conqueror, smart, talented, fearless, enough. I like it. I got any questions for me? What we supposed to do when I get bored? No, hey, we're not listening. Anything else y'all want me to talk about when I'm on there? Because they're going to give me the opportunity to talk. So I want to talk about what y'all want to talk about too. Not just what I can talk about. Is that fair? You got an opportunity to control the class. So go ahead, let's give them 5 more. All right. We have a dialogue, so it ain't that we're not starting. Let's give them 5 more. It's not even, I'm just gonna say, hey, you can be whatever you want to be. I'm gonna give you a real toolbox to do. You know what I like to do? I'll probably show y'all know right now, right? You know what I like to do? You know what I like to do? Huh? I do write. I write a lot. You know what I like to do? I do design clothes. This is my son on my shirt. My referee shirt. I put this shirt on today for a purpose. So I always put my son somewhere or something from my brand. So I do like to design clothes. More than anything, I've been in here a couple of minutes. What do you think I like to do? Nothing? Wow. Sometimes. But you know what's beautiful? I've created a lifestyle. You want to hear something? He said nothing. Sometimes I like to do nothing. You know what's beautiful? At 39 years old, I set a goal at 18. You listen to what I'm saying? At 18 years old, I set a goal. Because what you said was right. Sometimes I like to do nothing. So at 18 years old, I set a goal and said, how can I retire faster than everybody I know? Right? I worked on the same plan from 18 to 38. I was supposed to leave. I forgot. So I left at 39. And you know, if I don't do anything for the rest of my life, everything I have is paid for. So I can literally wake up in the morning and do nothing. And that car outside to get paid for, and my house to get paid for, and my cell phone to get paid for, and my lights, and my water, and my rent, all that stuff to get paid for. So sometimes you're right. I get caught up in doing nothing. But I made this roadmap that I'm going to give you today so I can do nothing. Now how cool is that? So you gave me the real answer. It worked out. Could literally afford to do nothing these days. It would be a boring existence, but I could do nothing. But the thing that I love to do more than anything in the world is talk. Just love to run my mouth. Anybody had a mama told you talk too much? I was that kid. They paid me to talk now. Is that crazy? I took the one thing that I thought I was the best at. That I was like, I don't even think. I know. I'm one of the best. Why? Because it's the gift God gave me. I know exactly. I've studied. I've researched it. In fun ways. I watch comedians because they got the best time in the world. And I figured out how to get people to pay me to actually talk. And it came with just about everything that y'all said. Math, it came with reading, it came with knowing my history, because knowing your history is super important, especially in a time like this. And then the more I talked, the more people started to listen, the more people started listening, the more people started asking me to speak. And the next thing I know, I found out there was a job that I could do, just doing what I love to do, talking. Ain't that great? So what if I gave y'all a roadmap on how whatever you want to do, we can build it out, and you can do that thing. I'm not in my spiel yet. You ready? He's like, I shut it down.
You're good.
I'm just keep teaching until people keep coming. Is that fair? So we're not just sitting here doing things. So y'all might hear this again, but since y'all came early, you got paper? You got paper and a pencil? Super dope. It's class, but it's a good class. It's a class that I'm gonna give to you, right? So my son raps. You listen to rap music? Sometimes. Well, you look over at the pastor.
Dead at me, bro.
Pastor look like hip hop. He's heard music before. You know, right? That's what you're looking at. Before you ask any questions, you like, man, don't ask me no questions. Pastor sitting over. Pastor told me I could be here today. I didn't just walk in. He gave me his blessings. You like, I was like, who was he looking at? I thought he came with you. You looking at the pastor. The pastor know I'm going to ask these questions. I'm not going to get you in no trouble today, I promise. Is that fair? You listen to rap music?
You listen to rap music?
Sometimes. Okay, you listen to rap music? Sometimes? No rap music. You do, but you don't. Okay, cool. She look like, yes, you do. so here's the thing. My son is a rapper. The same roadmap I'm gonna need. Y'all, you know how to write, right? Cool. So I'm gonna need 2 more of these just for them. I'm gonna get y'all the early class. Is that fair? So my son is a rapper, and that's all he liked to do was rap. At 13 years old, how old are you, Drew?
11.
11. At 13 years old, my son said, I want to be a rapper. And I said, well, okay, let's do it. No problem, yeah. So, I'm old, got a lot of gray hairs on my face, so of course, you're thinking I should have something in my life going on. My son at 13 years old, he said he wanted to do this thing called rap. I was like, fine, because I used to be a rapper. That's how I started talking. It was just weird. I just wanted to be able to say something people listen. So I said, let's create a roadmap to figure out how we're going to make this happen. And not just figure out how we're going to make this happen. We got to figure out how you're going to live a life off of rapping. Is that fair? So what we're going to do right now, I want you to grab one of these hymnals, but make sure that you only write on the paper, okay? Just use that as the background, a hard place to put the book. We're going to start with this thing I call a roadmap to success. You don't have to write that part out. Just remember, this is my roadmap to success. Today what I'm going to do is teach you first how you're going to use school to live the life you want, the good life, right? That's what you said. I was thinking about life, but life is good. We want to keep life good. Is that fair? All right, so we're going to have a small class, a quick class, on how we can do this thing that we love to do, get money from it, and enjoy our life. Is that fair? People usually ask you what you want to be when you grow up, right? You ever heard that before? I'm going to ask you a different question. I know. You're trying to figure this out. Don't figure it out. Just go with me. I got you. What I want you to write on the top of your page, not the job that you want to do. You hear me? I don't want to hear the job you want to do. I want you to write what you love to do. Like for me, I wrote talking. If I had another pencil, I'll show it to you. So I wrote talking, right? I like to talk. That's what I wrote on the top of the paper. I want you to write what you love to do, and I want you to draw a heart beside it. Is that fair? Make a heart beside it. Anything your heart desires, anything that you love to do, is what I want you to put on the paper. And then you're going to put a heart beside it. This is the roadmap to success. If you woke up in the morning, and whatever you put on that piece of paper right there, you could do that for the rest of your life, and your life would be happy. That's what I want you to put on there. My son put rapping. I put talking. He wants to rap, and everybody's like, he can't be a rapper. You gotta do more than rap. I'm saying, yeah, there's some pretty good rappers out here. And if we educate him the right way, right? If we give him the right reading skill set, we give him the right learning skill set, if he knows who he is, right? He can do a thing. Good morning. What's your name?
Martise.
Martise, welcome to the class. I'm Dr. Life, for real. My name's Life and I'm a doctor. It just kind of happens that way. Say again?
That's your nickname, what for?
Yes, Life.
I don't see no one.
You said you don't see no life?
No.
No, Life. L-I-F-E. You thought I said light.
Bro, why they call you that?
Okay, so here's a conversation. So I told you we can have the conversation. I'm gonna get you a pencil and get one of these here notebooks so you can write on. She's gonna come in and say it. So here's the thing. So I come from a town, a small town. I can be honest, so I've asked, can I be honest and open here for a reason, right? Because sometimes we come and we don't get to your level. I come from a pretty rough little town.
What's the name? What's the name?
Conway, South Carolina. Myrtle Beach is 15 minutes away from Conway, South Carolina. It's not a lot of economical advancement. If you look at Conway at my age, you'll say it's great. The problem is I don't speak to Conway at my age. I speak to Conway at your age, right? So when I was younger, I used to move around with a lot of guys because they was in my neighborhood. These guys in my neighborhood, we always got involved in things because we were just in the neighborhood, not really thinking, just kind of moving around. But I was always the person to be like, I don't know if we should do this. So every time something got bad, I would always try to be the voice of reason. It's just the way I've always been, right? So what happened? You asked me the question, I'm gonna give it to you honest. A lot of my friends got hurt from violence. So I know a lot of people. I was in the Marine Corps for 21 years, and I lost more friends in my neighborhood.
How many friends you lost?
16 right now. To include two of the first people I ever met. My best friend I pulled the plug on. Person I met in New Orleans. I got a lot of people that passed away violently. Is that fair enough? I'm saying it that way for the youth in the room, right? You hear me? So, because I was going through these things and I was still striving to figure out how to be positive, I was talking to everybody about it, but I wasn't following what we were doing. So at that point, I decided I'm not going to be on this side of things, doing things that could potentially get me hurt, that could put me in jail, that could put me in prison. I'm going to choose a better way, right? So my pastor told me one day, and people started calling me life. Well, here you go. You're going to bring life to the situation. You're going to bring life to the situation. So my pastor told me one day, he said, the reason that God changed your name is because you're surrounded by so much death and you speak so much. If you don't talk the way that you're talking, you can speak death over people. So in the Bible, when people got to a certain space, their name changed. So in that moment, when my name changed, I changed my name. Because that's the characteristic of who I am. So I want to always be reminded, even in the darkest of situations, to speak life. Because I got the ability to say something bad. Anybody get mad and they say the wrong thing sometimes? They just get me. Sometimes we say the wrong thing, it happens, right? So I have to be mindful not to say the wrong thing. So that's how life came. And they started calling me life. I didn't choose it, it chose me. And it just stuck. The doctor part, I'm really a doctor. That's how the part came. So I didn't name myself Dr. Life. I'm really a doctor, and then there's life too. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. So you understand it? So I need everybody, I don't know how many pencils we got, Quinn. I need some pencils and some paper. How y'all doing? Y'all just snuck in. Y'all good? Okay, good, good. What's up, sir? All right. Y'all happy to be here? Y'all good? I promise you this is going to be a good day. So what we're going to do is, I had everybody else in the class, right? It's me teaching everybody how to do what you want to do in your life and make a life out of it. Is that fair? I'm not going to ask you what you want to be when you grow up. I'm going to ask you what you love to do. And then I'm going to tell you how to make a job out of it. And then I'm going to tell you why you're in the classroom that you're in right now. Is that fair? Is that cool? All right. So everybody has a piece of paper. If you can't write, right? I know some of you might be too young. If you can't write, what I want you to do is, the person to your left or your right, I want them to help you out. Is that fair? So, the first thing I want you to write down is what you love to do. The reason I'm giving you this class is so we can figure out why we going to school. So, write down, not what you want to be when you grow up. Be very clear. What you love to do. That if I do this thing every day, I would live my life happy. You good? You wrote it down? What you write down? Like to play video games. I like it. There are people that get paid to play video games. So if I love to do this thing, I want to put that in the front. Like I told you, I put talking, my son put rap. I want you to put a heart beside it. Do you have a heart? You're going to work. You hear them all the time, I hate my job. I don't want to go to my job, right? So the heart is not in it. Anything that my heart is not in, I'm not going to do with it. So the first thing I want to consider when I want to do something for the rest of my life is my heart in it. Because if my heart's in it, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. Y'all notice the room ain't packed, right? So I speak around the world doing this. Next month I'll be in Africa doing this. Every month they fly me to California to speak to kids in the school. I do this around the world. So you want me to tell you? It's cool. No, you can ask. You don't want to know. Do you know somebody else that speaks around the world? Then why wouldn't you want to know? I'm no different from you. But if you don't see it, you can't be it. So when I'm telling you something, it's not the reason that I'm showing out, right? I don't think we talk about our success. Y'all Pastor driving miles of riding. I'm inspired, right? He in shape. I was like, I'm going home to do a couple more push-ups. Why? We should inspire each other to be better, right? We should inspire each other for greatness. So don't say you don't want to know, but something made you say you went to Africa, so you basically want to know, right? It's okay to be interested. Listen, today I want everybody to take their cool off. I'm still good? I'm not pulling my ear yet. We good? Okay, cool. So I've spoken around the world off of this thing I'm telling you to do right now. The reason I'm going to tell you where I spoke at so you can believe that what I'm telling you is true. Is that fair? Okay. So in 2011, I got called to Australia to speak at the International World Conference for Human Rights. I spoke at James Cook College beside a lady by the name of Angela Davis. A lot of y'all might not know who Angela, big afro. I went to Australia to speak. I came back to the United States. They sent me to Japan to speak on the crisis of black education in Okinawa, Japan. After that, I went to Cancun to speak on the crisis in black urban education. I spoke at Harvard University. I went to Africa last year. I'm going back to Africa this year. I'm going to Cancun again in November. In the United States, every month, they fly me to California once a month. I go for about 2 days. I speak 1 hour one day, I speak 1 hour the next day. And they fly me back to North Carolina. Just because I wrote on the paper what I love to do, and that's talk. Is that fair? So what I'm telling y'all, that anytime y'all got a question, just ask it. You don't have to raise your hand. But what I don't want you to do is not ask the question. If y'all ask questions, we'll get through this a lot faster, a lot easier. I don't want you to walk out without knowing what I know. Is that fair? So the first thing we did was put our heart up there. Now, I told my son to put rap up there. The next thing I said was, how many ways can you rap and get money? Let me explain it to you first. I said, how many ways can you rap and get money? And for me, I put, how many ways can I talk and get money? So the first thing I can do is I can speak. People will pay me to talk. I researched it. I pulled my phone out. I said, people get paid to talk. Let me find out how much they get paid to talk. The guy that's one of the leading speakers in my profession, it's a black guy by the name of Dr. Eric Thomas, a real good brother. We had some dope conversations back in the day. He is the front runner in speaking in my field, right? Ask me how much they pay him an hour to speak. Somebody take a guess.
25
25 what?
dollars.
No, definitely not $25. Take a guess. Take a big guess. $100, but not dollars. $100,000 an hour to do this. Have you ever heard it before? Does it sound crazy? But it's true. I've heard it with my own ears. I watched him turn down $80,000 because they didn't have the other 20 to do this. I'm not telling you about something I heard. I'm telling you about what I know. So if we have never heard these numbers, if we don't know these things exist, we live like it's impossible. Jerome, you locked in? I know you're young and you're fidgety. It's cool. You still hear me though, right? So Dr. Eric Thomas, $100,000 an hour. I'm running him down. So my mentor, who's directly over me, I know some guys in between that, but I want to talk to people I'm directly connected to. Well, Jeremy is about $40,000 right now, an hour. A friend of mine. He makes Jeremy Anderson. Both of them are pastors actually, which is dope. $40,000 an hour to speak. So when I'm looking at talking, I'm like, wait a minute. There's people over here that's doing this thing and they're making money to do it. My direct mentor makes $25,000 an hour to stand on the stage and talk. Yes, that's what I'm getting to. Currently, my last fee was $5,000 an hour if I'm just going to come one time. My mentor is telling me to move the needle to $20,000. So I'll move it to 10 at the end of the year, and by the summer I'll be at 20. Because I just have to have the social proof that I've been paid a certain number in order to move the needle. The game is move the needle till somebody tells you no. Is that fair? So right now, I'm at $5,000 an hour to come speak like this, right? When I fly to California, because I give them a deal, they pay me $3,000 to fly to California to do 2 hours. But who cares, right? They give me a free plane ticket, a free hotel, and a videographer, and they not cheap, right? So when I'm talking to you, the only reason I'm talking numbers, right, is because I don't want you to pick anything without thinking about the numbers. Where my math lady at? Math. Who like math? What the math at? Math. That's where we at, right? Math. So math is important. I don't want you just to pick a job. I want you to consider your life when you pick the job. Is that fair? So underneath that, I wrote, I can talk. I want you to write 3 things you can do with the thing that you said you love. So I wrote, I talk. I can coach other people to talk. And if I can talk, I can teach coaching. Is that fair? So I want you to think about, now, if you had your phones out, right? This is just a roadmap for right now. When you get back home, when you get by a computer, when you get by your telephone, I want you to really research this. So I want you to pick 3 things that you can do underneath that. So if you play video games, right? I'm gonna give you an example. If you play video games, that's one thing you can do. You can also make video games. That's another thing you can do. You can analyze video games. So y'all see what I'm doing? If you hunt, you can hunt. You can make a show teaching people how to hunt. You can make the clothes that people hunt in, right? So what happens is if you play ball, right? I can play basketball. I can coach basketball. I can own the team, right? So I don't want us to think in one direction. The reason I tell you to think in 3 directions, you're not running after 3 rabbits. The thing is, I'm just running after talking. I do all 3 of these things all day long though, right? So I don't ever want you to give yourself an excuse not to be what you want to be when you get older. So you put singing, there it is. There's a lot of Beyoncé's out here, right? Beyonce is Rihanna, $1 billion, right? So how many things can you do with singing? What did you write? You love to take care of animals. So what jobs can you do that you take care of animals, right? So you could be a veterinarian, right? Animal relief shelters. You can do a lot of things. So I want y'all to think of 3 things that you can do. Now this part, I want you to put a dollar sign beside. A lot of people don't want you to put dollar signs no more. Money cures all things. Put a dollar sign, please. Think of 3 things that you can do. So sing, if you like to sing, you can sing. That's one thing, right? There's people who get paid to teach people how to sing too, right? While y'all doing it, the reason I want you to take it serious is because it is. I just told you, I wrote talk. Under the talk principle, I'm at $5,000 an hour, right? If I coach you on my telephone, I'm gonna just show you, not even coming out of my house, on the telephone that we play with every day. I'm only talking money because you need to hear and see people who do this for real that you can touch. When I come back next year, my number's gonna be different, right? So here's the thing. If I coach you on my telephone, it's $400 for 30 minutes to talk to me on the telephone. How many 30 minutes y'all got on the phone? A lot, right? So for my client base, 30 minutes is $400. If I give you a deal, because I want you to buy an hour for real, right? Because I know I'm gonna go over because I don't do anything in 30 minutes, right? So boom, I give you a deal, $50 off, $750 if we talk for an hour. Smart real prices, right? I can get money teaching people how to talk, and they talk every day. I get money listening to what you're saying and tell you how to say it better. I get money by adding history to your conversation. You're not right. Did you write all 3? What'd you write? Oh, I'm not one of them teachers that's gonna let you fail. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for a reason. When I get into these 6 E's and then I'm gonna let y'all go, we got one more class we're gonna teach. But did they get consent forms for the people that's here?
Yes.
For everybody here?
Mm-hmm.
These little bitty people.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We got 2 classes. We get through this one good. We go to the next one, then I'm gonna add to this one, and then I'm gonna have a conversation with some of my friends. Is that fair? Okay. I want you to write dollar signs. You don't think? We wrote that. What'd you write? A swimmer? A streamer. Streamers get money. T-Pain said he makes more money playing video games than he ever made singing. Did you know that? T-Pain says he makes more money playing video games. And he got platinum records. So I want you to take it serious. Did you put a dollar sign beside it?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you put 3 things or just 1 thing? All right, gotta pay attention. It's gonna be a test at the end, right? I want you to put 3 things. I want you to put a dollar sign beside it. Now the reason I want you to do this, right? Because this is the space where you really create your job. I'm never gonna ask you what you want to be when you grow up for one reason and one reason alone. Because I only know what I know. I didn't know nobody was getting money to speak. So I couldn't say I wanted to be a speaker because I didn't know it existed, right? So if I ask you what you want to be when you grow up, it's only limited to what you know. In my neighborhood, it was like, oh, everybody's like, I want to be a CNA, not a nurse. Well, my mother was an LPN, my grandmother was an RN, so I had a little more knowledge to see how far she could go in the nursing thing, right? But if I'm only seeing CNAs, I can only stop at what I know. So what I want you to do is write what you love, and then we can create the job on the back end. Is that fair? Now, here's the thing about creating the job. The reason I tell you to put down dollar signs. Money important. A lot of us did jobs and we did it as a labor of love, meaning we went to work every day, we missed out on a lot of stuff, and we did not get enough money to take care of our people the way we wanted to. Does that make sense? I had one of the mamas, we go in the store, she's like, don't look at nothing, don't touch nothing, you ain't getting nothing. Anybody ever heard that before? Don't ask for nothing, right? So my mom, it just wasn't because she didn't want me to have no snacks, it's because we just didn't have it, right? It wasn't that she didn't do a job that was respectable, right? It wasn't that she didn't take time and go get an education and do this job. It's just when they did it, when it's like, oh, I want to be a nurse because my grandmother was a nurse, it didn't generate enough money for how many kids we had, right? So I want you to consider right now how much money you're going to make doing that thing underneath the thing you love to do. Is that fair? I know we don't have our phones right now, but if you can't do it right now, I want you to Google it when you get by a computer. You know how to Google, right? So what did you write down? Take care of animals as they get sick. So there's a thing called a veterinarian. They take care of animals, right? You're a doctor of animals, right? So I want you to write down veterinarian, because that's what you do. You're a doctor of animals. Kind of like Dr. Doolittle, but different. All right, can you write it down? Put a vet, V-E-T. You got streamer, what else you got? You could be a game, you can build your own game company. There was a black man built the game console, right? He created that. The cartridge for video games, he created that. I'll tell you his name in a minute, I'll look it up in a second. So you can play video games, you can design video games, and you can be a streamer. Okay? Singing. Okay, which one you do? Basketball or did you do hunting?
I did basketball.
Basketball, what are the 3 things you're gonna do underneath?
Train people, coach, and play.
Train people, coach, and play. Training people. There's a person that teaches basketball handling that never went to the NBA, but everybody goes to him for training. So these multi-millionaires come and pay him money, and he becomes a millionaire off of just teaching handles, never has to touch a court. So I want us to think outside of the box. Just it's only 1% of people that make it. I will never tell you you're not gonna make it. Play your heart out. If somebody else made it, you can make it too. I'm not the person who's gonna tell you get something secondary. No, I'm gonna say you love to play basketball. Find 3 things you can do underneath basketball. Shoot for the top thing you can do when you play basketball. And then if you break your ankle or something like that, not that you don't have the skill set, not that you don't have the heart, but if you get hurt or injured, which you can't control, we can always still be in the game. So I'm gonna always play and do the thing I love to do. Is that fair? So we got veterinarian. We want to look up 2 other things that we can do to take care of animals. Is that fair? All right. What'd you write down? What'd you love to do? Do you like to dance? You love to dance. Okay. So what are 3 things you can do underneath dancing? Teach. Own your own dance studio. But you can double use that for event space. Do that too, right? And then you can dance, right? Don't never exclude the main thing. Keep the main thing in number 1. The other 2 is the other 2 things, but your main thing is your main thing. Am I telling you have a plan B? No. My plan A and my plan B are the same. My plan A was to talk, and my plan B was to find another way to get plan A done. My other way to get plan A done was doing it 3 different ways, but I'm still talking. You understand what I'm saying? We still cool? You're not pulling in? We still good? Okay, now we're going to get to the part that's important, the part that why we're here. Underneath those things, so you need a veterinarian, that means you gotta go to a college, right? And then you gotta go to doctor school too, right? Cool. So what that's gonna tell me is, I want you to pick the best schools for the thing that you wanna do. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a school of dance somewhere, right? So you're gonna go to the best school. We're no longer saying I wanna go to a school. At your age, you should always think the best school. Why? Because if somebody else wins, you can go to. When you go to your computer, you say, you know what, for an hour of my day, I'm gonna look at dancing. And I'm gonna learn a new dance style. Maybe for 6 months, you say, I'm gonna focus on this one new dance style. And you can learn right there on YouTube. You can find master's classes. You can go to Google. You understand what I'm saying? So when the time comes for you to audition for that school, you're well versed. You don't just have one style of dance. You understand other styles of dance. Does that make sense? This next block we're talking about is the education block. So I want you to put a mind on there. Just draw a little brain on there, right? I want you to find the best schools. Now, it ain't always a school. Some of you could go to trade schools. Some of you could go to master's classes. There's a whole bunch of different ways to do different professions, right? But I want to put the best. So underneath that, I know my goal is to get to the NBA, right? I want to know which school produces more NBA players than anywhere else. Does that make sense? I want to know if I'm going to sing, where should I go to sing? There are colleges where people go for music, right? I want to be able to sing. You know, Beyonce's making an album in every genre of music. Y'all know why she's doing that? Do y'all know why she made a country album? Y'all know why she's going to make a rock album next? What Beyonce is doing, here's the history part. You ready for this? Because you're a history guy. What Beyonce is doing is taking over every industry that they stole music from us in. We created country music. We created rock and roll. So she's just going back to get what everybody stole from us and didn't tell you that we created. So she's showing you that we can operate in each one of those markets. Am I telling you to listen to Beyonce? No. What I'm telling you to do is understand what we created. Being us is one of the dopest things we can do in the world. One of the greatest things I have is being us. And every day I learn how to love us better. I don't hate anybody, but every day I wake up trying to figure out how do I love us better, and it comes from my history. It comes from me understanding, reading about what we've done. It comes from me understanding the numbers. That's why I study the people in my industry. I'm like, he can get 100,000. I know I can get 100,000. And I love him. He's a good brother. If Jeremy's my guy, if he can get 40,000, I know I can get 40,000. If my mentor, when somebody calls for him to teach, he calls me and says, "Life, teach these people." If he can get 25, I know I'm about to turn to 25. Right? So it excites me when I see us win. So we have to study us. Is that fair? So I want you to know the reason that I'm talking money is not bragging. The reason I'm talking money is so you can believe it can happen. I'm right here with you. I talk to more millionaires in a week than I talk to people who are not, because these are my friends. Does that make sense? And if I keep talking to them, I know I'm the next person in Millionaire Road. And if you're getting it from me, you're getting it earlier than I got it, so no telling that you're going to be, right? Is that fair? Everybody found a college. What college do you think produces? Just write down 3 if you don't know right now, but write a footnote. We are going to find what are the best educational places to do the thing I love to do. Y'all remember that? Just put best school. Just write down best school. What did you write down?
Duke, UNC, NC State, Kentucky.
Duke, UNC, NC State, Kentucky. What'd you write down? Do you have to go to a school for video games?
No.
Did you know there's an EA Sports college? My guy, God bless him, he just passed away this year, was the first black billionaire I ever knew. Melvin Nunnery. He created an application called ScholarMe. ScholarMe is an application where if you play sports and you came from a small town like this, right, that people might not see you, you can put your stats into the actual program, and if somebody was in a big college like Duke, they could look up, I need a point guard, this size, that makes this many points, they got this type of handle, and it will pop up all these kids from rural states. What happened was, China saw this actual app, and they was like, ooh, we need that, right? So he created an app, they flew him to China, he got there, they gave him an offer for $700 million, he turned it back. He was broke, living in his car with a computer, laptop. He flew back. The next time they called him, he said, tell them if the deal is good for me and it's good for you, it's good for me. If it's good for me and it's not good for you, it's still good for me. But if it's not good for me and it's good for you, don't ever call me again. They offered him $1.4 billion. And he took it. Before he passed away, he was feeding 1,800 kids in Africa every weekend. He built a city right by Silicon Valley. He was talking to the Prime Minister of Grenada to turn Grenada into a solar panel place. The reason I'm telling you these are people I know is so you know there's nothing I'm from a small town. I just got access to information. So the schools that you pick right now, so he told me, knew I was going somewhere. When he was in China, he was thinking little bitty guys. So he's a little taller than me. He's like, I brought my biggest friend with me, so I'm thinking if anything goes bad, we can handle it. He got there, it was all these tall guys. He's like, what is going on? And he found out they have a school for EA Sports over there, the video game. So did you know there was a video game school? That's why I told you to go to your phone and research schools that teaches me how to play video games. I'm gonna make sure I find out who your mom is. I'm gonna check up to make sure you did it too. You're a little shy, but there's money in what you wanna do. If y'all miss out in classrooms like this, you'll find yourself later on in life saying, man, if I would just paid attention, right? So let me tell you why that's important. I didn't have to, so when I put talking, I didn't have to go to school to communicate. I took one communication class, they gave me 100, I was like, can't be here. I gotta find out who's the best in the industry. So I started watching comedians. I learned it from master classes. I started going to conferences, right? And I studied the way people speak. I studied it so much so my pastor gives me the actual sermon on Wednesdays a lot of time, or give it to me Friday night, because when he's in there and he's preaching, I'll be so focused on like, how do you do that? Oh, he dropped his voice and everybody leaned in. I am studying every time somebody talks. He knows my problem, right? But that's what I had to do. I had to find a master class. So there's different forms of education. Some of you might end up becoming something that has to do with trades, right? There's different places. Everything doesn't have to be college, but college does make things a lot better sometimes, right? So I'm gonna get into that part. So this is the thing. Once you find the education needed to do the things that you love to do, right? What I need you to find out is what classes you need to get into those colleges. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying? Then if I find out what classes I need to get in those colleges, watch this. This is how I'm gonna make you focus in school, right? School stopped being about school to me when I figured out what I was gonna do with my life. Because now I ain't like, I'm just in algebra. Nobody ever gonna use this, right? That's what they always say. Until I was like, this ain't about algebra. This ain't about 5th grade, right? This ain't about 3rd grade. You know what it's about? Oh, I gotta learn this in this class. So when I get to high school, I can get this in these classes. It's not about the class anymore. It's about the fact that I need to go to this school. And it's not about the school, right? Because I don't care about the school. I just need to go to this school because it gives me the best opportunity to get this job. And if it gets this job, it's not even about this job. It's about the thing that I love to do for the rest of my life. Does that make sense? So what I want you to think about when you go to school now is not that I'm just going to class. It's the fact that I'm going to be a gamer, a streamer. I'm going to create games, right? In order for me to do that, I got to take this class. Why do I have to take this class? Because if I understand math, math goes into a lot of programming, right? So if I understand math, then I'll be better when I go to high school. If I get to high school the right way, I'll get the right grades so I can go to college. I go to college the right way, I can get the job. I get the job, then I do what I love to do for the rest of my life. Does everybody understand? So the class that I just gave you was a roadmap to success. I just told you my money. Now let me give you somebody a little younger, right? My son, he put rap on the top of his paper. He raps, he sells his CDs for $25 an hour. He makes t-shirts with his lyrics on them. We make hats $40 an hour, t-shirts $30 an hour. Some things we sell a little more. When he came to Pender County, I'm talking about here, ask me how much he was making an hour to teach rap in an after-school program. $250 an hour in your city. Anybody in this city can do it, but you can't do it if you don't know it can be done, right? So go to Pender High and go to, what's the other, Heidi Trash? $250 an hour. Somebody, 27 years old, was making in your city because he sat down with the same roadmap. And he's never did another job other than rapping. He teaches rap at a high school right now. $2,600 a month. And the only reason he took it and not $3,600 is because he said, I don't want you to be able to control my time. If he says he can't come to work on Tuesday, he don't go to work on Tuesday. Because we're in Atlanta in the studio with QC. Anybody know who QC is, Quality Control Records? You know who Lil Baby is? Lil Baby is under QC. My guy, Wayno, is an A&R for QC. So I am with a lot of industry people. So this is what we've been doing. And he just got picked up last weekend on a distribution deal. So he can start rapping universally for everybody else. But next month, he's going to Africa to rap off of the same roadmap. I'm not telling you something that I heard. I'm telling you, if you use this tool that I gave you, and you realize, oh, when I go to 3rd grade, I got to learn this so I can sing forever. Right? I'm going to use this voice. I'm going to be Tamala Man, right? I'm going to use this voice, and I'm going to get paid to live a life that I want to live and take care of what I want to take care of. Is that fair? All right, cool. So, here's the next part. That's class number 1. Now, I gave you class number 1. Anybody need a break? Anybody need to go to the bathroom, get water? Everybody good? So here's why I have to give this class number 1. Is because there's only 6 E's in life that they're preparing you for in education. Is that fair? Because y'all a little young, I'm gonna give y'all this class a little different. Is that fair? 2 of these E's, I'm gonna bring some people from my fraternity, if you will, to come in and have a conversation. So education is only preparing you for 4 things. And if you don't get those 4, they're guaranteeing you 2 other things. They all start with E's. Is that fair? So I got a lot of road maps. I didn't come here to be educational. I wanted to make sure I'm around parents who are hearing what I'm saying. So when y'all go back home, got a niece, got a nephew, take this and use it, please. I know it works. I don't want you to pick another job that you didn't look at what lifestyle you can live off of. Because poverty doesn't start in my pocket, it starts in my mind. And if I don't believe I can make these things happen, I will stay broke and broken forever. You hear what I'm saying? The reason I'm giving you this educational piece right now is because I used to be broke and broken. I used to not believe that I could make it. I used to think that the best thing I was doing was everything everybody else was doing. I used to follow the crowd to whatever the crowd was doing, even though I knew my grandma would not have me out here like this. That's how they ended up saying, oh, that's like, I'm going to go with the play, but I'm like, man, y'all sure we should do this? Man, this might be bad if we do this. This can happen. I would find creative ways to keep us out of trouble because I'm like, I already been to court. I've been on intense probation at 12 years old. This ain't it. 7 o'clock check-ins is not it, right? So I had to start figuring these things out. What I realized was, because nobody gave me 1 this and 2 this next thing. School is preparing you for 4 E's. Is that fair? You didn't pull your E yet, so we still good, right? Okay, cool. She pulled her ear. She telling me, hey, we ain't listening. We done fell asleep, right? So there's only 4 things, but there's 2 other things that they're also preparing you for without telling you. And these other 2 things are things you will fall into if you don't understand the 4. Is that fair? They start with E, so I'm gonna write down 6 E's. The first E, when you get out of high school, you can get employment, right? It's an E. That means you're going to go into somebody's job. You need to decide which one you want to do, right? You need to decide what you want to do when you get out of high school. What is the E that you're going to choose? Because if you don't choose an E, America will give you the 2 other E's. You understand what I'm saying? Now this is the class I fly to Cali into. These 2 classes are the classes they pay me to teach around the world. Is that fair? If we had time, I'd do a workshop, we'd get a lot deeper, I'd break it down, we'd go through it all together, we write it all out, we have a whole certificate, you'd have a lifelong sheet. But parents, if you have, what you have right now is a skeleton, build it out. Every day, put it on the wall, make the affirmations, I am gonna be this. Because a lot of people don't know God is the great I am. So if I'm saying I am, that's my prayer. I am gonna be what I say I'm gonna be, right? So these E's, we have to decide which E you want. Because I go to high schools and talk to a 12th grader like, I don't know what I want to do. I said, you got to pick an E. What you mean? The first E is employment. Do I want to go work in the workforce? Do I want to come straight out of high school and I want to go straight to a job? There is nothing wrong with going straight to a job. But you have to decide what job you want to go to. You understand what I'm saying? If the job is in line with what you put in there with your heart and it's in line with the lifestyle you want, right? Because under them jobs, when I put what jobs can you do, I want you to put how much you make a year. I ain't doing nothing for a certain price point. I turned down some money this morning. I was like, somebody else that's great money. It's just not great money for me. So I'll be taking the opportunity for somebody who needs that opportunity. I have to stay in my lane because I'm robbing somebody else if I take this one. I ain't doing it. So like, how you gonna turn out this much money? Money is relative to what you believe is relative. And my time is important. So when you're writing those things down on the side, I want you to figure out how much they get paid. So first E is employment. Are you being prepared to go to a job? Do you want to go work at Walmart? Do you want to go work at, I don't know what factories around here? Do you want to be a firefighter? Do you want to do HVAC? It's money in HVAC. Do you want to be a plumber? Do you want to do, so HVAC is air conditioning, heating, air conditioning, ventilation, right? Anybody ever been in the summer and they ain't had no air conditioning? Whew, terrible, right? Do you know how much money they get paid to do HVAC? My HVAC machine, and the only reason it's on my mind, because I got my ceiling fill in this week. Because the HVAC machine was leaking through my top layer, went down to the second floor. I couldn't see it because it was coming around the frame of the inside of the closet. And then my bottom floor of my house fell out, and now I got sheetrock and all type of stuff on my floor right now. HVAC. You know how much money they charge you to come outside and say, yeah, it's wrong, right? He didn't even do nothing. He's like, ain't but 160. 160 to come tell me, yeah, the air conditioner ain't working. Do you know a lawyer makes as much? I mean, a plumber gets lawyer money for real. They gonna cost you $300-400 to come put a little snake in your toilet. Yep, it's fixed. So I don't want you to think going to employment don't mean you can't live a lifestyle. If you're a truck drivers get a lot of money. You just have to pick which job you want to do, and the way that you pick it, you go right back to your heart and say, I'm going to be employed, right? And then you say, how many ways can I be employed doing something I love to do? And then you find out how much money it makes. If it does not make the money you wanted to make, don't do it. Oh, I'm about to trouble, huh? No more labor love jobs. If you can't figure out how to make that money take care of you and your family, don't do it. Do something else to get money first, and once you got enough money, like right now, I can speak, I can mess up and not speak, right? Everything I got is still paid for. No matter what I do in my life, unless somebody says, take away disability, take away retirement plans, I'm about to go get my Social Security, take away Social Security. As long as they don't do that, it don't matter what I do. Why? Because I made this roadmap at 18. At 18, I said at 38, I'm going to need to have a job that I don't have to work no more, and I'll get a retirement so I can live. Now I can do anything I want to do. I can do trial and error. So you have to decide. If the job that you want to do does not provide you the lifestyle and the money block, don't do it. Get the money, and then once you got the money, you can go back and do that later. Is that fair? Employment. That's one E. The next E is what I do right now. It's called entrepreneurship. Starts with E. It just means a person that's willing to take a risk to own their own business. People miss willing to take a risk part. Entrepreneurship is risky. Anybody want to own their own business? So let me tell you about who you run with. You do? It's a good thing. It's beautiful. I called my uncle one day. He's been an entrepreneur as long as I know. Right? He owned his own business. I said, oh, what's the best thing about being an entrepreneur? He said, every day I wake up, I ain't got no boss. I said, what's the worst thing about being an entrepreneur? He said, every day I wake up, I ain't got no boss. Which means if I don't kill it when I come in here, if I don't do a good job on that camera, if I didn't do a good job last time you asked me to come, I couldn't be standing here today, right? So every time I come out as an entrepreneur, I gotta kill it. Every time I come speak, I gotta show up. Every time I come, I gotta have a certain presentation. I gotta make sure I'm pleasant to people. I gotta make sure I communicate. I gotta make sure I make them smile every time. You pull your ear, we still good? We still good? No ear pulling? Good, we straight, right? So I gotta make sure that I do all these things, because as an entrepreneur, if I don't do it well, I don't eat no more. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, pick your business. And then every day that you're in school, you should figure out why it should move towards entrepreneurship. I need all the business classes y'all give me, right? You're going to do the same thing. So entrepreneurship is one. The next one is enrollment. If y'all going to college, that's enrollment. So you got to figure out, when I got all these jobs, what is it that I need to do in high school? What grades do I need to make in high school? Not just what I need to do on the court. The playing field is on and off the court. Singing is in and out of chorus, right? Veterinarian, you need to be in the classroom focused. All the science classes, right? You need all of those. Reading is going to benefit you. Math and science go hand in hand. We need to know those things, right? Dancing, you need to be in all of the dancing classes. It will benefit you to be in music too, right? So you can understand how music moves, how you can move, right? So if you want to be in video games, you need to be in science, you need to be in math, you need to be in art, you need to be in all of those things, right? Because all of those push you into the college that you want to go to in enrollment, right? Now here's the E that a lot of people don't talk about in our community. We don't, but I got a plan. Parents, if y'all listening, I'm gonna give it to you quick. The other E is enlistment. That's going into the military. I know people are like, we ain't going to the military. Check this out. I'm not telling you going to the military. What I'm telling you is, if you don't have resources or finances, what have I told you? I can take you at 18 years old. By 22, you'll have your own house. You'll have your college paid for. You'll have a check that's coming in every month. And I'll make sure that you have a job that you can get $30 to $40 an hour. Would you do it? You know anybody 22-year-olds right now with their own house that they pay them to go to college. Not that you're going to college. They're going to give you an extra $1,400 a month to go to college. Then you already going to have a $30 an hour job, right? And I'm going to make sure you got your disability set so you're going to get a check for the rest of your life. You know a 22-year-old who living like that? My daughter does. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. Right? So if I took you and said, dedicate 4 years of your life, come into this job, I'm going to put you in a job. I did electronics on airplanes in the Marine Corps. Defense Electronic Economy. How many airports out here? I could take an airplane, little black boxes y'all hear about? That's what I worked on. I came in with a plan. In case I get injured, right? I can walk out of this thing and get $30 an hour at any airport at my bottom, right? So when you look at enlistment, I don't want you to look at it for you to serve the country for the rest of your days, right? Unless that's in you to do. Unless you say, look, I can retire at 38. Let's do it. You have to make sure whatever you get involved in, right, that you're going to get your thing out of it too. Because they're going to get their thing. So in enlistment, you pick the profession that works. Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, right? You figure out which one of those you're going to be best at. If you're in shape, go in the Marine Corps or Army. If you're real intelligent, go in the Air Force and the Navy. Not because we're not intelligent in the Army and the Marine Corps, it's because that's how they get promoted, taking tests. Is that fair? So we use that process and we figure out, let me get a job I can do something with that ain't nobody gonna put me on the front line, right? Let me do something I can get money on the back end, and then let me work my play on how I can go to college, to go to the NBA, to do the thing I want to do for the rest of my life. Does that make sense? So those are 4 E's. Anybody remember the 4 E's? Who wrote them down? Somebody give me 1 E. Give me one. Go ahead, beloved. Employment. What does that mean? Work somewhere. Absolute. Give a 3. Everybody give a 3? I just need 3. We got to do it together. Give a 3. Employment, right? That means I'm going to get a job. That's it. And that's beautiful. That's fine. There's a lot of successful people with jobs. That is fine. Don't ever let nobody tell you that it's not fine. You hear what I'm saying? Because they'll try to say it ain't. It is. Because you could be doing these last 2 E's, what I'm going to give to you in a second. Somebody give me another E. Entrepreneurship, meaning I'm going to take a risk to create my own business, to be my own boss. Entrepreneurship, give them 3. Right? So I can do entrepreneurship, meaning the thing that I wrote on the top of paper that I love to do, Ice Cube was like, I love basketball. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the big 3. That's his business. The big 3 became so big, he took 3 old NBA players. It was like, yo, come on, let's make a team. And y'all can compete against each other in the big 3. It became so big, the NFL sued them. They tried to black market them, like get him out the way. Why? Because he's competing with the NBA, because he created his own business. So I don't want you to just think basketball. I don't even just have to be the owner. I could build the league. Why? Because a little dude from Compton, California did it. And Ice Cube wasn't no different from me. You see what I'm saying? Entrepreneurship, absolutely. Give me 2 more. We got 2 more E's. Anybody remember? 2 more E's. Enlistment. That means I give a 3. In enlistment, that means I go to Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, or the Coast Guard, right? The only thing you need to do before you walk in, do not let a recruiter tell you what he wants you to do. Because you're just a number. When you walk in there, you already researched the thing you want to do. When you walk in there, it's 2 things you want to do. Make sure you're going to stay alive longer than anybody else, and make sure that you got a job that if you ever walk out, they're going to pay you for the rest of your life. Is that fair? The other things they will add on to you. They'll pay for your college. I'm not here promoting that. What I'm saying is there's no excuse for us not getting what we want to get out of life. And if I can dedicate just 4 years of my life to beat the system, I'll give you 4 years. Because what's going to happen is from 18 to 22, when you hit 22, if you don't listen to that enlistment part, right, you're like, dang, I could have owned a house right now. I'm here paying for college. They would have paid me to go to college and pay for my college. I could have had me a job right now, but I ain't got no job right now, and I'm struggling being a student, eating in the calf, right? And I could have given me $3,200 a month on disability because I know when I come out of here, they hurt me some type of how. I'm not telling you what I heard. My daughter's getting disability right now, working on hers right now. Not because she went to Ivy League college too, off their money. I ain't pay no money for it. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm not telling your kids nothing I ain't told my own. Everything I'm telling you, I know it works because I tried the medicine on my kids first. I guess I might be a mad scientist, but it worked, right? What is the last E? Anybody know the last E? Or then we just hit them all. We hit employment, we hit enlistment, we hit entrepreneurship. What was the last one? Ooh, that's why y'all supposed to take notes. Anybody remember the last one? Enrollment. My God, listen, say it with your chest, baby. Listen, y'all gotta start saying things louder. We gotta talk. They say old lions don't roar. Young women and men should roar. Listen, let them know we here. Take up space. We ain't got nothing to be shy about. We've created everything on the planet. If you look around, culture follows us. We don't follow culture. In Japan, you know right now, Japanese people have a way to make their hair look like yours. They've decided we need to make our hair look like yours. When I went to Japan, they was windmilling on concrete, breakdancing. They was rapping in Japan. We created that. Black people, not Africans, regular black Americans created that. If you look at the way that you dress, that came from us. That didn't come from somebody else. So we got to stop speaking so small. Let's speak boldly. Let's walk in the room and let people know we here. Because you know what's crazy? We'll speak small when we right. We speak loud when we wrong, right? We're going to change that. We get paid off for being smart. It ain't the fact that I can just talk. It's the fact that I'm smart. The smart people that I know are millionaires. The rest of my people who was dying to be cool was literally dying to be cool. Literally. Now, if you're in this room right now, there was consent forms that were sent. These last two E's are serious, right? This is the reason when she asked me to come to the book bag drive, I was like, look, I don't want to come to any more book bag drives where we hand out book bags that's empty to empty people who are going to leave empty. And the outside world will fill them up, but we're not going to fill them up for ourselves. So this next part is going to be strange, right? But I'm going to be transparent, I'm going to be honest. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Yes. So if this is going to be too heavy for you, at any point, find a door, right? Is that fair? But if I don't have these conversations, I don't feel like I love you. There's no way possible I can come into a space and act oblivious to what's happening to our kids. They are killing our kids, not unaliving them. They're killing our kids. And they're convincing you to be the person to do it. Is that fair? I have to be honest with us. I am gonna call a couple of my guys if that works. Let me see if I got a signal. I might can bring everybody right here. The other thing I do when I say culture, underneath me talking, culture is just basically creating a space for people. Culture means I can make people feel safe, and the way that you make people feel safe is to show them that you care. When you walk into a building, the way that it feels, your church has a certain culture. You can come in your church and you feel away. When you was looking over to the pastor, making sure like, pastor right there, am I straight? That means he has order in his church. Because some people say anything in front of their pastor. You as a child know, before I say this, let me look at pastors. He's developed a culture, right? That's a good culture to have, that you care about what he's saying. There's a culture of care in this building, right? When I told him what I wanted to come do, he was like, come do it. That's a culture of care. So this ain't an easy part. So when I talk culture, I fly around the world with formerly incarcerated people. Like, these are my brothers, these are my mentors, these are the people that's over me. And I'm not talking about lightweight, did some petty crime, like some real written in books people, right? We go from prison to prison around the United States. They call us in once the prisons have gotten so bad that people are losing their lives. We go into those prisons with no police, and we create our own dorms inside the prison, and we teach leadership to gang leaders, to violent offenders, to people that's on death row, and we teach them how to lead and stop killing and hurting people. That's the other thing I do with talking. God gave me a gift. This whole time in my life, I was trying to dodge going to jail, just so God could send me into jail. Not only did he send me to jail, and I have to be honest, but I was telling you about, I'm very clear that my name is Life. If a person says, what's your name, or we can't do business, I don't even do business with them. My name is Life. Why? I'm surrounded by a dark looming cloud of death. Our community is surrounded by a dark looming cloud of death. When God put me in the first prison that he put me into, and we went in and we took all the gang leaders, what happened was there was a riot, 7 people lost their lives, 30 people was brutally stabbed. They locked everybody behind doors for 24 hours. That's why I'm telling you these 4 E's, because this is what the last 2 E's look like. 6 E's. Nobody wants to talk about the last 2 E's. You understand what I'm saying? I'm here to talk about these last 2 E's. If you don't take that serious, if you don't take those 4 E's serious, the first 4 E's, if you don't take it serious, America's made 2 other E's. They will exile you. When you're exiled, you're sent away from everybody else. That's prison. When they put you in exile, that's prison. That's an E that nobody talks about. There is a system that is designed to make sure that you come to it, because we have privately owned prisons. And those privately owned prisons, I get more money to put you in a jail cell than I get to put you in a college. And they're eating our kids up by the hundreds, thousands. And this is what God sends me to speak more than anything else. I do not want to do it, because it hurts to see our people in slavery. But I also love to do it because it feels better to free people from slavery. So when they sent me to my first cell, when I told you about, when you asked me about why they called me Life, my best friend, that when I couldn't fight, there was a time I couldn't fight, my hands wasn't nice. I couldn't square up my hand, you know what I mean, right? I know to throw it off the foot. I know none of that, right? He would fight for me. When I didn't have clothes, he would give me his shoes. Even when I couldn't get my hair cut, my best friend was cutting my hair like in the 3rd grade. He was in the 4th grade, so you could imagine my haircut looked like this. But he was my best friend. He was doing that for me, Lorenzo Bell. A couple years back, maybe 7, 8 years now, no, 9 years now, I got a call 2 o'clock in the daytime. My best friend standing in the front yard waiting for his kids to get off the bus. A 15-year-old, that's why this conversation, I know for some people it seems heavy. A 15-year-old shot my best friend in the head. I left from North Carolina, got to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, faster than everybody that was 15 minutes away. His mother's on this side, his blood brother's on this side. They looked at me and said, Life, well, they said, Bubs, that's what they call me in the hood. It's like, Bubs, what we gonna do? When I looked down, told the doctor, I said, get the light, put the light in his eyes. He opened his eyes, his pupils didn't dilate. I'm like, he not in there. I said, Doc, is he in there? He's like, I said, you can tell me I'm a Marine, I'm gonna take it. He was like, chance, but the chances are very, very slim. We just did the surgery, waiting for the swelling to go down. By the end of the night, his mother, his kid's mother, and his brother, they asked, like, what we gonna do? I had to pull the plug on my best friend. The program that we started in the first prison I went to, the 15-year-old that killed my best friend is in the program. And I was required to mentor him for about 4 to 5 years. So when I say I speak to this group at this level, and a lot of people don't understand it, because a 15-year-old took my best friend off the planet. I went to a jail cell in Tennessee last week, a 16-year-old. He says, yo, I go home in 8 months. I said, 8 months? Notice I said a 16-year-old. He said, I go home in 8 months. I said, you good? He said, it's Trousdale prison. One of the most violent prisons. The Department of Justice just came to shut it down because there's so much drugs and violence in this prison. He said, nah, Life, I'm kind of scared. I said, you scared of what? He said, man, I don't know what to do out there. I said, what you mean? I said, where you from? He said, I used to say Memphis, but I done been here so long, I'm from here now. I said, look at him. I said, beloved, how long you been? He said, 31 years.
He came into prison at 16 years old. That's why this conversation can't wait, right? I don't want to come back to no more backpack drive and say, hey, I came and we had good dope conversation, kids love me, everybody was laughing, and then I didn't give you what you need to walk out of here and make sure you don't catch these next 2 E's. So the first one was exile. What my best friend got was execution. So the other 2 E's that we don't discuss in our community is exile and execution. We can't lose another one of y'all. And if we don't have this conversation, it don't work. So you have to pick an E, because these last 2 E's are looking for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? We all know the person that we be around that's always in trouble. We know the people. We all know the people. So what I did was, on Sunday nights, I mentor gang leaders from different gangs in my state. So not gang members, or let's say organization leaders. I mentor organization leaders. It started off with the Bloods, and then the G's came in. So it's Gangster Disciple, Growth and Development, and then Tennessee just joined. So Tennessee has the Nation, they have Folks, they have Crip Vice Lords, Bloods. So I asked a very specific question for a very specific reason. I thought the crowd would be a little older, but my guys know how to operate and move. Is that fair enough? So this is the part. I know. I gotta cut the camera off.